Everyone wants accessories that look unique. These delicate Czech glass dragonfly earrings seem like they might be a little tricky to make, but you don't need to master any difficult skills to make them. Let me show you exactly how to make these simple earrings from start to finish. Hello, welcome to The Stylish Maker. My name's Carol. I recently gave the members of the Style Makers Network a choice of which tutorials they would like to see, and they chose the dragonfly earrings. If you are interested in signing up to the Style Makers Network, I'll leave you a link in the description box below. Over there we do all sorts of fun things. We do monthly challenges, we share our work, we ask for help, and we get assistance and inspiration from others. These have got to be the cutest pair of earrings you've ever seen. Now, if you've watched me before, I know what you're saying. This is a little understated for me, but I do love them. In fact, whenever I wear them, I get comments, so I thought I'd share them with you today. They are super easy to make and you don't need many supplies. They use Czech glass dagger beads for the wings. I know you'll love them as much as me. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you make them. You will need some Czech glass daggers. These are a beautiful iridescent blue dagger, and of course they have a hole at the top there so that it will stick out and form the wing, and you'll need 8 of those for a pair of earrings. You'll also need something for the head. Now this is a 6mm acrylic AB finished black bead, so it has a nice little sheen on it, and the AB finish kind of works in really well with the greens and blues that I'm going to be using. So you'll need 2 of those beads. These ones are tiny 2mm balls. They are silver. These ones are sterling silver, but you do not need sterling silver. You could make them with a silver plated ball as well, and you will need 8 of those as well. I also have some black plated 3mm metal balls. You will need 6 of those, and I have some green seed beads, and these ones are just transparent seed beads, and you will need 12 of those. You'll also need a pair of ear hooks. You'll need some ball pins. These ones are a 24 gauge and they have a ball on the end, and also some wire, and I'm using a 24 gauge half hard wire here. For tools, I'll be using a pair of round nose pliers. I'll be using a pair of flush cutters. I'll also be using 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. If you need tools, I'll leave you a link in the description box to all the tools that I use. Let's start off by making the tail of our dragonfly. So we're going to take one of our ball pins and we're going to thread on 4 of our teeny tiny balls. These are the silver ones. So 1, they're so small I'm having trouble getting them on. 2, I can't find the holes. Now I did straighten my ball pins before I started just so that they were nice and straight. Because these are a 24 gauge, they do tend to bend very easily. So that is what I have now with my 4 2mm balls on there. Then I'm going to put on my black ones. This time I'm going with 3. So 4 of the 2mm and 3 of the 3mm. And that is what I have now. Now normally when I'm using a 24 gauge, I would make a wire wrapped loop. But I'm not going to do that today simply because there isn't very much pressure on this. These beads are super light, and normally I would make a wire wrapped loop because the tension on the loop would pull it out. But this loop is very protected as well, so I'm not going to do a wire wrap loop. I'm just going to do a standard loop. So I'm going to put my thumbnail on top of the bead there, and I'm going to make a bend in my wire, just like that. Now I'm going to cut my wire at about 1 centimetre from the bend, holding both ends so it doesn't fly away. So that's what I have now. And then I am going to take my round nose pliers and make a loop. Now if you haven't made loops before, I'll leave you a link in the description box to a video all about troubleshooting loops, because they can be a little tricky, but they're not really difficult, they just take lots of practice. So to make my loop, I'm putting the wire in the jaws of my pliers, and I'm rubbing my finger over the top to make sure that the wire isn't sticking up outside of the jaws. Now I'm putting my thumbnail into the corner there, and I'm going to press down towards my thumbnail and turn my wrist. Then I'm going to take my pliers out, put my pliers, so my pliers were this way. I'm going to turn my wrist back, put my pliers back in. Now the reason I did that is simply because my wrist won't turn any further, and I'm going to turn the rest of the way. So there's the tail of my dragonfly, and that was super quick. Now I'm going to make the other one while I'm I'm going to do them together. So putting on my 4 little balls. When I make earrings, I do like to do them together simply because it makes it easier to get your earrings the same length. So I like to do each stage so that I can test it and make sure that it's going to be the same. Now I'm finding it easier to put these little balls down onto my mat and pick them up that way rather than trying to feed them on, just because I'm having trouble seeing the holes. Okay, so I have it again to that stage, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to bend over my wire. I'm going to cut my wire. Now a good suggestion here is actually to measure your wire that you cut off, and that way you will get your pieces at exactly the same length. I'm just going to put the ends together like that, and I'm going to cut. Now make sure you use the flush side of your cutters facing towards the beads, and I'll cut there. That way I know they're both exactly the same size. Now I'm taking my round nose pliers and I'm going to do exactly the same thing, popping them inside the jaws, making sure I can't feel it, popping my thumb into the corner there, pushing down onto my thumb, twisting my hand, taking the pliers out, putting them back in and twisting again. And sometimes when you make a loop it might be a little squiffy, skewiffy. Just grab your chain nose pliers and give it a squeeze and it will be fine. So now I have my 2 little tails and they should be exactly the same length. Next we're going to make the body of our dragonfly and attach the wings. So I'm going to use some of my 24 gauge wire. I have about maybe 15 centimeters or so. You don't need very much. Then I'm going to put on my Czech glass daggers and my seed beads for the wings. Now the first thing we need to do is put on the tail. So we're going to put that on first, and then we are going to take 2 of our seed beads, 2 of our daggers, got them over there, and then 1 seed bead. So that is what I have now. Then I'm carefully going to turn it over, and I'm going to hold all of that between my thumb and my forefinger, and I'm going to repeat for the other side. So 2 more of my seed beads, just holding it so that it doesn't fall off, and 2 more of my daggers, and 1 more seed bead. So there you go, that's what we have. Now we need to make this into a circle for the body. So we're just going to pull the 2 ends up so that they cross over and pull them quite tight. Now we're going to wire wrap this, but don't worry too much, it's not that hard. What I'm going to do is take my pliers and I'm going to make a bend in the wire where they're just right by that seed bead there on my left hand side. And I'm going to pull everything as tight as I can, but don't stress if it's not too tight. So I've got it crossed at the moment. So I'm going to take my long wire and I'm going to wrap it around my wire, sticking up twice. And then it's not very neat, so I'm going to push it down, push those wraps down so that they're sitting right on top of the beads, just like that. I don't have mine very tight, and if I have it like that, what happens is my wings will be all floppy. So what I'm going to do is take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to hold on to that piece of wire that's sticking straight up. I'm going to put my thumb on top of the wraps and I'm going to pull really hard, really hard, so that it tightens that circle. And I might have to do this several times just to make everything nice and tight. It's actually quite tricky to get into wire wrap with your with the wings in the way, so just do the best you can. It doesn't have to be neat. So now I'm going to trim off the wire at the back, so just turning it over to the back and coming in with the flush side of my cutters, and I'm going to cut that as close as I can, and just make sure that the end isn't sticking out, which mine is, so I'm going to give it a tuck with my chain nose pliers. And I might give it another pull. Actually, it's easier to pull it once you've cut it off. There we go, that's better. So that is what I have now, and I need to make my other one. So I'll grab another piece of wire and I will feed on all of the beads again. So starting with my tail, don't forget your tail. 2 beads, 2 daggers, and 1 bead. Turn it round and repeat.
I am not there. I do not know what they're really going through. There's a lot that I see.
Now I'm going to bring it up to make my circle and cross the wires over. And I'm going to wrap it. And lastly, I'm going to give everything a good pull just to make sure that it's nice and tight so my wings aren't floppy. And there we are. That's my 2 earrings to this point. Now I need to make the body. So we're going to put on one of our beads. So there is the body. If you're enjoying this one, please remember to hit that subscribe button and also give me a thumbs up. And if you are subscribed but you're not seeing my videos, then please consider signing up for my newsletter. Then I'll email you every time I upload a new episode. Now we're going to make a loop on the top. Normally when I'm using 24 gauge wire, I would make a wire wrap loop, but this earring is so light and there's no pressure on it, I'm not going to bother. If I was making a necklace with loops, I would definitely use a 20 gauge wire or use a wire wrap loop if I was using a 24 gauge. But there's no pressure on this, so I'm just going to make a loop. To do that, I'm going to bend my wire right at the top of my bead there, and I'm going to trim it to about 1 centimetre. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other earring.
Stitch yourself into my favorite.
Now I am going to make my loop. So just holding the wire in the jaws there and turning my hand, removing my hand, twisting it back and turning again. And the same thing on the other side.
You took the drug, but you left the...
So there we go, there's our dragonflies. Now we just need to attach our ear wire. But before we do that, there's one thing we need to do. So if I put my ear wire on this way so that the round part, this part, is facing forward, which is the way I wear an ear wire, I just need to make sure that my loops are facing the right way so that when I put it on, it's not going to be kind of hanging the wrong way. What I need to do is make sure that my loop is facing with the round part like that, and I need to make sure the other one is doing the same. And then all I want to do is take my ear hook and I'm going to open the side that opens, so holding it on the side of the loop with my pliers and turning my hand down and feeding on my little dragonfly. And then to close it, I just reverse that. I hold it on the side and close it up. Need to do the other one as well.
You left the matches, but never let them burn. Were there smoke?
And there are my dragonfly earrings. So let's put them on. So there's my earring on. It's pretty, isn't it? Now don't worry too much if your wings flap around. Dragonfly wings flap all the time. So don't stress too much, but the key is to pull it really tight once you've done that wire wrap loop, and that should stop things wiggling around too much, but it's not a big deal, honestly. People will know what they are. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Give me the thumbs up. I'll see you again soon.